voice, confidence, authenticity, and artistry as a form of protest that fueled, moved, and inspired many. The Harlem Renaissance, a creative movement that instilled hope, pride, social consciousness, strength, and unity amongst people of the African diaspora. It helped African Americans gain control over the representation of Black culture. There's so much we can learn from each other, and with pride to the side, even be inspired by one another. Charles White, painter, printmaker, and educator, inspired and mentored Carrie James Marshall. Jacob Lawrence inspired Nina Chanel Abney. Langston Hughes' poetry in particular was heavily influenced by jazz music. The Harlem Renaissance itself influenced the art made during the Civil Rights Movement. Like Toni Morrison, an Ohio native author, novelist, and winner of many prizes, like the Nobel Prize in Literature, the Pulitzer Prize, the NAACP Image Award, the Anisfield Wolf Awards, and the list goes on. Today is actually Toni Morrison Day. Miss Morrison was a monumental figure in literature and made it a point to create stories around and about Black people. Like her, we have the power to center ourselves and shape our narratives. With dedication, drive, and consistency also comes stress and anxiety. Though determination is a must, when reaching success, so is prioritizing stress relievers and finding ways to ground ourselves. This morning, I have Valarie Williams, a yogi whose mission is to provide the knowledge of yoga and meditation to those who might not always have access to the practice. Valarie truly is gifted in her work, and joining us for the second year of the Black Artist Showcase, without further ado, Valarie Williams.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? We good? We here today? Yes. My name is Valarie. Like she said, I'm a yoga and meditation teacher here in Cleveland, Ohio. Yoga means everything to me, but the biggest reason that I started becoming a yoga teacher was because I wanted to share yoga with people that look like me, and I wanted people to know that yoga is accessible to them no matter where they live, what they do, and how much money they make. So I'm really, really excited to present this meditation. Before we get started, can everyone please silence their phones or put them on vibrate? And while we're doing that, I want you to know there is no expectation for meditation. So if you have any thoughts of, oh my God, I've never meditated before, what am I about to do, what's about to happen, let all those preconceived notions, just set them to the side, have no expectations but to simply relax. The worst that can happen is that you'll just relax for the next 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm really, really excited to share this with you. Let's go ahead, everybody sit up nice and tall. Take the shoulders, lift them up towards your ears, and then roll them back down. Yes, relax. And just kind of sink into your seat, get nice and comfortable. And when you feel comfortable, I even invite you to close the eyes. Don't worry, I will keep mine open. I'm watching over you. So take a moment to close the eyes or just maybe rest the eyes. Your hands can sit right in your lap. And we're going to just start by taking some deep breaths together to relax, settle. So start to inhale through your nose. And then open up the mouth, let the breath go. Each inhale, try to fill your chest up, fill your belly with air. And once you can't get any more in, open up the mouth, let it go. Almost like you're trying to fog up a window when you breathe out. So keep going with these breaths, inhaling through the nose and letting that exhale pass through the lips. And each time you take a breath, relax the forehead, unwrinkle the eyebrows, Relax the cheeks. Relax your jaw. Let your tongue just kind of rest heavy in the mouth. And maybe you start to notice your shoulders get a little heavier as you relax the shoulders. Relax your left arm. Almost like the left arm is like dead weight, just getting heavier and heavier as you breathe. Same with the right arm, allowing it to relax. And notice if your breath is a little easier than it was when we started. Maybe it's a little softer. And then start to relax the belly. Relax your seat, your legs, your toes. Let everything get heavy and closer to the floor, closer to the chair. And take a moment now. Notice your mind. Notice what thoughts are in the mind right now. It's okay if the mind might be racing. It's okay if the mind is busy. You're thinking about dinner tonight, who's cooking tomorrow, right? But just try to take all those thoughts in the mind and set them aside one by one. Keeping your focus, keeping your attention only on that breath going in through the nose and out of the mouth. Allow the mind to get quieter and quieter. And now I invite you to take your focus to your heart, to your chest. Notice what you feel when you breathe into the chest and you breathe into the center of the heart. It's okay if any emotions come up, any feelings. Maybe the heart might start to race. That's okay. Just keep breathing. Keep inhaling through the nose, exhaling. But as you breathe into the heart, I want you to take a moment right now and find gratitude. Find thankfulness for whatever it is that you want. Family, friends, food, a home, a job, a car. Gratitude for the body that you are in. Gratitude for the ability to make it to this museum today for this beautiful showcase. Maybe just gratitude for waking up this morning. Whatever it is that you're thankful for today, I want you to visualize it right now. Feel it. What does it sound like? What does it taste like? And let that feeling of gratitude overwhelm you in this moment. Let it cover you from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Keep breathing into the heart, breathing into the belly. Stay in this present moment, knowing you cannot get this moment back. So feel all that you can feel. Knowing that the more we find gratitude, the more we can welcome in new blessings, new things to be grateful for, but but always taking a moment and stopping to appreciate what we have right now, no matter how small, no matter how big. I invite you, keeping the eyes closed if they are, take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly here. Feel the heartbeat. Feel the life and the energy in your body. Each exhale, each inhale. Feel how alive you are in this moment, how beautiful that is. Find gratitude. Keeping one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly, we're going to take 10 big breaths together. Big inhale in through the nose. Keep breathing in until you can't anymore. Open up the mouth, sigh it out. Beautiful. Inhale. Open mouth, let it go. Inhale. Exhale. Slow breath in. Long breath out. Take 5 more breaths on your own. Every exhale, breathe out any fear. Breathe out any stress. Breathe out any anxiety, frustrations. Breathe out any feelings of stuck. Every exhale, let it all go, whatever you've been carrying all week. Allow yourself to release in this moment. After the 5th breath out, you can drop the hands and just return back to your natural breath. Take a moment. Notice how you feel. Notice where you feel sensation in the body. When you are ready, I invite you to take the hands together in prayer at your heart. It was absolutely an honor to lead each and every one of you through this meditation today. My only hope is that you find a little bit more peace, a little bit more relaxation, a little bit more love and gratitude for everything around you right now. We are going to end this practice by just simply lifting up the hands to our forehead and bowing together. Namaste. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the showcase. My name is Valarie. Again, I will be back at the end of the showcase, but in case you miss me, I teach every weekend at the Studio Cleveland. It's in downtown Cleveland, right on West 10th Street, if you ever want to practice yoga and meditation with me outside of today. But thank you guys so much, and I hope to see some of you soon. Thank you.
So next up is Poetry Unplugged. Poetry Unplugged is a unique one-of-one open mic experience, and now Poetry Unplugged has been going on for 1 year. Let's give them a round of applause. 1 year, and they've been extremely successful in making a safe space for artists to perform and be themselves. Again, the work you all have done is incredible, and I know it's going to get better every single time. So without further ado, founder Morgan
shorts. What's happening, y'all? What's up? Hey, hey, hey. My name is Morgan Page. I am a performance poet, author, writer, creator, one of the creators of Poetry Unplugged. We are a open mic experience that allows creatives, artists of any kind, writers, playwrights, singers, poets. We allow artists, we create a stage for artists to be limitless in their expression. You can come up here and say anything. The mic is open to anybody that's in the stands that may feel intrigued or inspired to come up here and say something. You could say, I hate my job, and that is why I'm here. Or you could tell us what you do as far as your business is concerned. Let us know what you do so we can be able to best support you. Thank you guys for coming out today to best support us and our message and our reason for being here today. Please support the Black vendors, artists here today, because I already have started, but I haven't finished yet. But please make sure you guys support these artists, because it takes a lot for us to be very vulnerable with you guys, put ourselves out there, and we use this as form of therapy. Poetry is a form of therapy for me. I'm pretty sure that those that are creating, our creatives, use it as a form of therapy, and this is how we live. This is how we get by. This is how we feed ourselves, feed our kids, and stuff like that. So please make sure you support us and whatever will have you. So I'm gonna get this open mic started. Also, so the rules of this open mic is we are going to give the artists our undivided attention. So when we give them our undivided attention, we're looking, we're clapping. If we hear something we like, we snap. Everybody snap. Okay, I like that. If everybody really like it, let's clap. If you really like it, say, ooh. Okay, good, good, good. You do not have to be perfect to come up here. You do not have to be memorized. This is practice. Every time you perform your poetry, it is practice. We don't have to be that, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be this, but you can be this. So, all right, this poem is called My Afro. And I'm not even gonna put that in the energy in the world, but this is called My Afro. My Afro, she be her own person. And every time I wear her, I become more me than I ever was. My Afro, she can be disrespectful. She be blocking everybody's view so you can't help but look at her. My Afro, she's so damn confident, big, bold, and downright loud. She be untamed, so every nap and curl goes whichever way they decide, and she be that girl. So like I said, you can't help but look at her. My Afro, she's so attractive. So other people's hands might start thinking like, let me touch, but she be so combative. So combs turn the other way because they ain't got the time to fight or fuss. My Afro, she be a movement. She's so Black power. She's so Black pride. She be limitless, and gravity is not the only way she defies. She sometimes be disobedient. She don't even listen to the hands that formed her. She thrives against American beauty standards. So some niggas, them dumb niggas, they be looking to scorn her. My Afro, she be so Muhammad Ali. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Just watch how these fists rock you. Just touch my fro and see. My Afro, she ain't got no sense. I met a man once who tried to condition her. He got washed right up. He ain't been right since. My Afro ain't been straightened out in a minute. She like being bent out of shape, curving and curling niggas every chance she gets. She natural. She paved the way for the clean girl aesthetic. She's a Black girl. And you know we paved the way for the clean girl aesthetic. My Afro, she's so ghetto. You prop the pick to the side, let the handle stick out. Yeah, that's how she likes it. My Afro, she's so resilient. She bounced back from anything. She's spiritual. Her curls praises God up and out. My Afro, she reigns supreme. Her crown lies on top of her scalp. My Afro, she's satisfied and single. She don't need no validating. She don't need no comb to see who flaky. My Afro, she's so political. If she wasn't, there wouldn't be no laws written in the legislation. Social constructs put in place villainizing her hair in the workplace. My Afro, she's so versatile. Blow her out, braid her up real quick. Look, a new style. wash her up, straighten her out. White people be like, I didn't know that was you. You look like a brand new gal. My afro, so tired of being police shackled and stressed. My afro, so tired of debating and screaming she needs some rest. My afro didn't do nothing to nobody but just rise and stretch. My afro just wants to breathe and be at peace. Then here comes a white man nice hairing me to death and at the same time telling me to leave. Now look at me. I'm under duress. Poem. Thank you. Ooh, yeah, I like that. All right, so my name is Morgan Page. I'm the first example. So when you come up here, tell us what you do, tell us your social media, all that, blase, blase. So my name is Morgan Page. I'm an author, writer, performer, one of the creators of Poetry Unplugged. I'm also a part of a poetry collective called The Sparrow's Fortune. We will be up on the third floor facilitating a writing workshop from 12 to 4 today. So if you want to go up there and you want to write some poetry after here or during this time, please go upstairs so you can be at the writing workshop as well. I have a few shows coming up. I have a few shows today, so I'll be in and out of here, but you'll see me. You'll see me. I have a poetry EP on all streaming platforms. It's called A Steward's Heart. So if you want to download it, you can do that. And yeah, and I'll be in Dayton and Columbus March 2nd and March 3rd. So if you guys are in the area, please come out for some poetry. All right, so I'm going to call the first artist to the stage. The first artist that's coming to the stage is Just Cuz. Clap him all the way up.
Hey, y'all. Y'all quiet today, bro. If y'all cool, say cool. If y'all cool, say cool. Good looks. I love Mocha. Clap it up for Mocha. Everybody who been popping off. So yes, my name is Khalil Cage, or a lot of people know me as Just Cuz. I'm a spoken word artist, author, and part of the Sparrow's Fortune. So like Morgan said, we're going to be upstairs doing a couple creative writing workshops. It's going to be real cool. It don't got to be poetry. It could be a short story. It could be a little essay, anything like that. We're going to do like 3 rounds of it, so definitely feel free to come up and kick it with us. Yeah, y'all want to hear poetry, right? Something like that? All right, cool. Let's see. We're going to do this poem I like called Judas. It goes like this. I, too, have sat at feasts with those who follow Jesus, knowing I don't belong, knowing it won't be long before I leave and forsake the King, trade his love for us, for my lust of pride and life. I, too, have heard his voice, followed him, still not fully understanding, still not filled with faith, still not fully satisfied with the fragments I've been given. You see, I, too, have grieved the loss of myself for the sake of a Savior only sought to save me from my own insanity, only to find that that same level of sadness lives on this side of sanctification too, if not more. I, too, have tried dying, tried sacrificing my flesh, but I just couldn't bring myself to it. So I killed my spirit instead, hush it, whenever it reminds me of what Jesus said. You see, I too have had trouble believing and have been painted as villain for the veil being over my eyes. It comes to no surprise that I die, like all sinners do. In public, the first story on the news, the birds using my flesh to chew my body, beaten black and blue, my side of the story left untold. No funeral, no casket where my hands sit comfortably and fold. You see, y'all, I too have been eaten by fire. I too have been lost and still never truly felt found, and they all blame me. Say it's my fault. Say my faith just ain't working. Say my life of sin and lack of sense just ain't working. And then they say I ain't worthy. But ain't even my kiss the kiss that saved the world too. See, I'm not a snake. I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I mean, who else? Who else would dare to deal with death? Everybody else too scared to get their hands dirty, but everybody has a purpose, right? What if mine was to help save your life? I mean, let's be real. If he hadn't hung, where would that leave you? See, truth be told, you just like me too. We all need him. We all need to touch a garment that fits him. We all need to be forgiven of our sin. You call me insane because I'm just a little less secretive about my betrayal, about turning my back, about putting stripes on his, about being less than a friend. But see, one thing for sure, and two things for certain. I know I'm not the only one who got him hanging. I know I'm not the only one who got him hurting. I know for a fact I'm not the only one who sits at this table of grace and mercy feasting on his love. Undeserving. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Appreciate that. So again, my name is Just Cuz. Just Cuz stands for just a collection of seeds. I pray that my words are seeds and they fall into your heart and they grow to be something fruitful. I like giving pieces that are storytelling and also give you something to sit with. So like I said, pull up to the third floor. We're going to have a great time with some creative writing workshops. Thank you, Mocha. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Cream. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Morgan, because she raw. Shout out to Cooley. Shout out to Quiet Kid. Shout out to everybody in the audience who know me. Hey, y'all. Thanks for pulling up. I'm done. I'll see y'all later.
I learned how to use the mic. All right, so the next artist we're going to have come up to the stage is Quiet Kid. Clap Quiet Kid all the way up to the stage.
Hey, y'all. What's good? What's good? Okay. Let's see. What do I have? For the last 4 months or so, I've been debating dropping out. The only reason why I stay present is because of the expectation that people put on me. And lately, these are the people who disappoint me the most. Maybe that's why making metaphors of my misery makes me feel stagnant. Lately, maybe I've been going crazy, craving a painless ending, a final shortcut to my final destination. But these are thoughts that I can't say out loud, so I go on vocal rest to give myself an excuse to not talk, because sometimes I struggle speaking without bringing up leaving and making jokes, dramatizing things that I think are traumatizing, like walking into the street and not caring about incoming cars. Because if you hit me, you should make sure you killed me. In fact, double back to make sure I'm dead, because otherwise I'm suing you as I recover. And that's the joke, y'all. Why ain't you niggas laughing? Isn't death funny? Isn't life funny? Isn't life a joke and its own punchline? Because you can't ever predict it unless you plan for it. But every plan that I make fails. So I've been failing at living and failing at dying, failing in school and failing in my career, failing socially. And y'all, I've been failing quietly. But if I leave, I'd be failing all my family and all my friends. So daily, I trade failure for failure, but daily, my strength is still tested. And just for a second, I forget which one I'm trading. Every day, I almost lose the world and win myself. Every day, I almost decide to die like I was almost designed to die. And someday, I'll forget to remind myself, and that will be just it. So when I go, y'all, I'm going to go in the most dramatic, cinematic way possible, I promise you. The depth to my death will be deafening, I promise you. Not even God will give my going honor, but since God gave me the great gift of this life, the greatest way to reciprocate is to give it back. I had the confidence to go this time. Boom. So yeah, y'all, I'm Quiet Kid on Instagram at QuietKid21_. I sell personalized hoodies, but there's also a workshop happening today on the third floor, and I will be there, so hit us up. Me and the other sparrows that's in the building, you know, if you want to come do some creative stuff with us, you know, because, yeah, indeed. All right, have a blessed day.
All right. right. So one thing I didn't tell you guys about Poetry Unplugged is we try to fuse networking in with poetry. So during our brief intermissions that we'll have, we want you to network. We want you to meet somebody new. We want you to shop at the vendors and go talk to them and see what they do, what they have, all that jazz. But also talk amongst the crowd to see what you like, what you don't like, blase, blase. And then make sure you go upstairs to enjoy the writing workshop, as well as the sketch drawing upstairs as well from 12 to 4. The writing workshop is based off of Nina Chanel's work, so when you go upstairs, you'll see more about that. But the next artist we're going to have come up to the stage, and then we'll go on a brief intermission, is Carlos Sanchez. So clap him all the way up here. What's your name, Carlos? Yeah. Am I good at your name?
Sanchez.
Oh, Sanchez.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Appreciate it. Poetry Unplugged. How y'all doing today? That's what's up. Make some noise for Morgan and the team, y'all. I'm not sure why it was Carlos. We'll figure that out later. But my name is Sanchez. Sanchez, the Black Rican. I am a poet, spoken word artist. I've been doing. I took some time off because I decided to go get married and have kids and everything. But if anybody remembers the Kamikaze from back in the day, every Sunday night, I was part of a collective by the name of Chief Rock Entertainment, which was led by Q Nice. Some of you may have had dealings with. We also started the B-side, and I don't know why I'm nervous either. So it's just like, wow. So I decided to get back into the ream of things. We also have a safe space downtown Bedford at Magna Wine Boutique every second Sundays. This week, we're actually having it tomorrow because we didn't want to battle with the Super Bowl last week, so we knew we was going to lose that. So we moved it to tomorrow for the next week, but every month here on after it's the second Sunday. It's at the Magna Wine Boutique. IG tags is Sanchez Lewis 78 or Sanchez R Lewis, and then you should be able to find me either way. I appreciate this venue, appreciate the collectives. When I first did a Google to try to figure out all the open mic sets to touch base on, y'all's came up first. I wanted to make it to the 1-year anniversary, but I had to work, unfortunately. So I had told myself I was gonna make sure I'll make it to this one. So I don't know still why I'm nervous, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this piece called Love Will Stress You Out. And ladies, make some noise. I'm sorry, but this piece is not for you. To my men, my fellas, make some noise. If you can, men, I need y'all to stand up for me. And I'm hoping I can do you a due diligence. If you can, I need you to stand up. Men. Ladies, this is not about you, but this is for you. So the more you hype me up, the more I can deliver to them. Do I necessarily have to be on this microphone? I know sometimes you guys record. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Fellas, love will stress you out. It will grab and twist Indian burns until you bleed your pride, your dignity, your manhood, your self-respect wasted like vows. Intellect instigating imaginations of false identity because by her side, I'm not there. Wondering if this other brother's of my equal, but he can't be, y'all. He's just a bootleg version of me. He knows nothing of your body, so what good will he be? Can he tell you what day your cycle comes and exactly what day you'll be fertile? What good will he be? He does know nothing about drawing a warm bath before consummation of your relationship. So what good will he be? He don't know nothing about changing your oil every 3,000 miles an hour. Still about being alone. Look at me, I'm gonna sing him and hit that on the radio. My boys blame her for letting him get that close. I blame myself for letting him get that close. What a woman wants, a woman gets. Whether you provide it or not. It's funny how the deepest emotions comes out when there's fear of someone treasuring something that I took advantage of. Fellas, she would not always be there. Fellas, she would not always be there. A woman, hear me out. A woman will stand tall for you. A woman will stand in your honor for you. A woman will knock the monk out for you. Regardless of how bad of a man you are. Regardless if you got muscles upon muscles and six-pack abdomens. Regardless if you are well endowed. We cannot possibly hold up to the BS that we put them through. Our minds are not ready. Our conscience will develop ulcers and you feel nothing more than a worthless piece of human flesh, and all of your good qualities was dried up ash on the back of your mother's legs during conception. Fellas, she is stronger than any blow that you can adhere to her face. Yes, you are physically fit to fight a woman, but is that all you got? Fellas, love will stress you out. Understand, fellas, women bleed for 5 days and don't die. Come on, y'all. A woman will have the last word in any argument. Fellas, love will stress you out. Because even though I had the love, I didn't show her enough of it. Now it's useless. Pouring at my feet. No one to catch it. Fellas, she would not always be there. She would not always be there. She would not always be there.
How y'all doing this afternoon? Good. It's a great environment here. I love it. Just real quick on what Poetry Unplugged is, I guess, and how we kind of birthed. We birthed from just a really great poet, and then me, somebody who wanted to like do more poetry. I said, hey, can you help me? And inside of her, like helping me, he said, let's create a platform, because where we met, it was like loud, and we felt like we wanted the mic to be respected. So that's like the #1 rule of Poetry Unplugged, just respect the mic. We created a platform where everybody's art is respected, whether it's clothes, art that you draw, or whatever, or you just say in a poem. And then from there, it was just like, man, we want people to network. We want to build a community where people can bridge the gap and grow. So all together, I think that's what Poetry Unplugged is. We finished a year here at Mocha right now, and this looks like Poetry Unplugged to me inside of Mocha. So that's what Poetry Unplugged is. And
yeah, that's it. So clap time up real quick. I'm just want to see if y'all engaged with us. Okay, cool. All right, so the first artist we're going to have come up to the stage is, I guess I'll perform just to get people back involved real quick. I'm performing a few places today, so I'm like practicing while I'm here, so I can mess up here first and then go somewhere else. Because this is an open mic and we don't have to be perfect. This poem is entitled, Your Imagination is Not Big Enough for Me. Black boy, did you forget how to dream? My dreams are massive. I could dream for you. Ooh, I dream for you. Give you something to look up to. Close your eyes to my tone. Lay your head in my lap and let me caress your waves with the song. I'd sing a song for you. With my fingertips along your collarbone, I dream for you. As big as Texas, I built a home with a song for you. Can you hear it? Big porch with rocking chairs to match, porch swing swaying with the summer breeze. We watch as our kids run, flip, chase after each other. Can you see it? Me still loving you with this dream. Would you believe me if I said that I believe in these things? Every time my eyes catch yours, it's as if it's our last gaze. Can you feel it? This feeling that dreams don't exist without you, boy, I dream for you. My dreams for you are bigger than us because our kids are proof. Legacy with your last name on it, you see what dreams will do. A love amongst all the strength it took to get to this place. to be in this space with you. Imagine us not breathing the same air each day. If our eyes locking wasn't the same, if close wasn't routine for us, I couldn't imagine that. I don't want to grasp any other concept than what we have, so I won't ask. My dreams are proof that I am in alignment with my destiny because my dreams came true when I dreamed for you. Poem. Thank you. So the next artist we're going to have come up to the stage is Jewel Justice. Clap Jewel Justice all the way to the stage.
Hello. So I am Jewel Justice, and today I have a very precious gemstone with me, and this poem is one of the ones that I wrote for her. Come on. All right, so say your name right quick.
Sapphire.
Birth of a gem. Pressure is necessary for the formation of precious stones. It is responsible for the removing of impurities. It removes weakness. It also creates beauty, strength, and resilience. The hardness left behind can only be chiseled or chipped by its own kind. So harden not your heart against those that seek to destroy you. And though jewels may be considered precious, weakness has no part in me and by extension you. So if I be the jewel and you the sapphire, our mutual strengths know no restraints, for you are all the best parts of me with none of the impurities. So let your innocence be purifying, your laugh rambunctious, your exhilaration be exuberating, your smile refractive, your leaps of joy defying gravity, so may your curiosity know no obstructions. Your vernacular may be an extension of me, so you will perfect my idiosyncrasies. So let this poem be proof that both ebonics and intellect can and do coexist. You can be both, not just one or the other. So it's a mother's wish that you never have to invoke your bulletproof qualities. It is my prayer that you remain unmarred by the hate in this world. So I trust that the lessons I instill in you will be your guide, and value that your intellectuality can be a two-edged sword. Some will adore you, others will fear you. So always be mindful of your interactions with others. It is up to you to decide, to use your intellect to rejuvenate or victimize. Thank you.
So when I was explaining Poetry Unplugged, I forgot to say every open mic we've had has been somebody's first time coming up here, saying a poem, reading off your phone. And Morgan said it, you don't have to be perfect at this open mic. So if you got something and you feel like trying, you get inspired, please come up here, come up to me. I'll write your name down, I want to hear you. Next up, we got Sir Champagne. Clap him up to the stage, y'all.
I go by many names. Sir Champagne is one. IG, Sir Exotic is my name on there. I want to say this before I start. Art is everything. Everything is art. So I want y'all to take that and understand, no matter what you're doing, everything that you do is a part of creation, which is art. That's one thing about humanity. It's one thing that we kind of excel at. We some dogs at creation. So understand that that is art. This ain't my first time, but I can see why y'all say y'all nervous. I understand that. I'm not nervous, I'm excited, right? So if I ask, can I do a warm-up just to get the jitters off of me? All right. So this first one is called Uninvited Guest. The enemy became the enemy. I swear no one invited you. Unwanted guest. I guess now lives within me. Not enough surveillance, I see. Lack of attention to my own blind spots. I'm therapy for others. I should have surveyed me. How did you get there? Betrayal, maybe? Maybe a trail of unaware lies from others, fake cries for me, really wishing on my demise from others, or maybe it was me. Maybe I let you in. Sabotaged myself, neglected help, expected health and wealth with ill habits. Wanting the road to wealth, but can't let go of the poor baggage. Loving someone else made me hate myself. Because now I'm the one they loved, but with ill intent behind that belt. I feel I deserve better, but I also feel stuck. And whatever this is, so whenever and however this ends, don't get comfortable. I see the error in my ways, whoever you is. Boom. All right. I think I'm good now. I think all right. All right, now this one's called Reality. Is it that I feel I no longer have control over my life? Or is it that I'm done pretending I have it under control? Reality is vague now. What's real is hard to comprehend, and that's easily the reality. Wow. I don't believe you. It's so believable to say, because it's hard to believe you or anybody else today. What's the point in telling you I'm not okay? Because in the heat of the moment, what are you going to do if I'm not? So I'm cool, okay? I question myself. I don't have to answer yours. I don't need sympathy or the poor me's. My energy was drained and still found a glass that was half full and used it to fill my loved ones that was soon to be my enemies instead of drinking it myself. How broken of me. But I must tell you, allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to feel. Easier said than done, I guess. An emotional state bound to cause a reaction, rational or irrational, but please allow yourself. You're allowed to express out loud. Your selfless heart should hear the sound of your own raw emotion from yourself, from all around, from ups and downs. Never settle for less. Allow me to expound. Say it out loud and feel how it makes you feel. Say it out loud and feel how it makes you feel. You suppress, they press you. You express, they X you. This fuck everybody attitude ain't natural. You won't care, but look at what they have done to you. In plain sight, you hide the sight of inhumane sights of someone sighting the side of you. You led with kindness, but that reciprocation never followed from others. So the love they showed made you question, what kind of love is this? What mind led you to this kind of mess? What senseless version of mankind is this? But to me, a great woman or man is kind. Poem. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. My best friend got me up here. Not only she's my esthetician, but she is a waxer. So if y'all need, please hit up the Spa Cave. Do what y'all can, you know what I'm saying? So appreciate y'all.
Let's clap it up one more time for Sir Champagne. And I forgot to do it for Jewel Justice. Let's clap it up for Jewel Justice one time. Yeah. So next up, we have Deidre. Is she here? No? Okay. Well, let's go Christopher Moore. Where? Oh, you there? Okay, I didn't see you. There we go. Okay. Deidre, let's clap her up to the stage. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? Good, good. I'm going to share a poem titled Needle and Ink, and this was inspired by a Stevie Wonder song titled Visions. The line that Stevie Wonder said was, "Or do we have to find our wings and fly away to the vision in our mind?" Poetry. Poetry helps me to escape to the visions in my mind. Maybe these pages are my wings. They help me fly through hurt and misunderstanding. Maybe one day I will land on lines and move forward with the pen. No erase. Certain things in life you cannot backspace, like death. It hurts when the day for goodbye comes. You may look over at the casket, visualizing as if they can see. You will hear the voice that they can no longer speak. The memories will project the pain, but also produce smiles. My cheeks curve now when I remember everything that is you. Although absent, you still make me think. My mind tells me that you just had your wings tucked away underneath your tailor-made design. Your love runs along the seams of my heart, perfectly stitched. The day your feathers were revealed, a part of me flew away, but I've learned to land within the visions in my mind to remind me that there was love. Thank you. You can follow me on Instagram at _P.S.Didreonna. Thank you.
Yeah, clap her back to her seat. Just good. Okay, so let's do another one. So I know everybody, not everybody, I know a lot of artists that come up on the stage because I've been here every month. And I got some of my favorites. I got some people I love to hear. And I'm glad to see her name here. Can we clap Mix Rose up to the mic?
Hey, y'all. Oh, my God. For once, I don't got to adjust the mic. I got a poem, if that's cool. I made a mistake, and I enjoyed it. The cortisol in my body crumbles into ashes every time I do something selfish, every time I self-diagnose, every time I align myself with the pleasures I've constantly been deprived of my whole life. My first kiss wasn't real. My first love was abuse, so that's the only type of love I became used to, just being used like tissue. A part of me just thought that being in love required you to just feel like shit sometimes. My first sip of something sexual felt forced. Fragments of fragility turned my body into a treasure map and made all my treasures unattainable. Now, whenever I can sense a treasure getting touched, I self-sabotage by covering the X spot with more and more sand. I demand protection over my heart by hiding how I feel. I try to give whys and reasons to not be too nice. Ain't it funny how the world teaches you how to not be too nice? Like too nice won't suffice in a world full of hate. Like too nice decreases your chances of surviving in a world you should be thriving in, but only if you know how to take no shit. Only if you know how to have thick enough skin. You'll always feel heated in and never get a chance to actually cool off, even when it's just you in your own skin. I've learned how to not be too nice. Sadly, this prevents me from riches I may need. I can't explain everything I feel so blatantly, so I release my secrets through the similes of my poems. Only the ones who get it can relate. Enlightenment is innate. You don't have to think too hard to get what I'm saying for real. I just know how to paint the ugliest words with the prettiest pastels. Naked, sometimes I feel the most naked when my clothes are the most modest. I'm often told by men how much they appreciate the way I carry myself. These men are often the ones who've seen me the most slutty, the most exposed, the most bare, because I wear clothes with words on them. I'm really not as quiet as people think I am. You just don't understand my silence. But I say all that to say, I made a mistake, and it felt nice. It felt nice to not care about how society saw me. It felt like my lifelong role as a good girl who always followed the rules finally got a return on her investment. I found out how to inject my honesty into the veins of society without getting arrested. I took my anger and frustrations and made a poem, and I kept making more poems, and then I kept being myself, because at the end of the day, if you miss the best versions of me, the best impressions will always be whenever I feel safe enough to speak. I find it interesting how most don't give me the light of day until they see what I'm about on my Instagram page. I think I deserve to make mistakes sometimes, like being too nice, because I'm always trying to do what's right. Whether you believe it or not, I care about my life and the imprint I leave. So I've learned how to receive the things that don't shriek me. I learned how to be big despite my body and despite my height. I've learned how to be loud despite my soft, despite how soft I may sound. I've learned how to be myself in a life that bribes me to be something I'm not. My truth is that I'm sensitive. I get overwhelmed. I love passionately. I'm gonna always be a good girl, but in my own way. And that's just a mistake that the world is gonna have to take, because I always took what the world gave me. So now it's my turn to feel good. Whatever the world gives me, I will guide it to the right spot, like a G. Y'all all look good today. I just gotta say that. Like, y'all all look so fine. I see y'all. So, I'm Mixed Rose. You guys can follow me on Instagram at MIXXEDROSE. That's 2 X's. Don't forget the 2 X's. Thank you.
So we're gonna do one more poem, and then we're gonna take an intermission. And I think I'm gonna come up here and say something. So I'm just looking at the crowd, and just every time I get up here, I'm inspired. I'm just inspired that this is actually happening, right? Just grateful and appreciative of it. And it just made me think of this poem. It's called Dreams Come True Only If You Do. Have you ever dreamed? What did you imagine? Did you see it come true? Manifesting is a blessing. Trust me, favor isn't fair. We all have life so we can create life, but you must believe. You can't dream without faith. You can't execute without a plan. To be the man or watch the man is the motto. I refuse to be empty, a hollow soul with no goals. Cherish moments because memories last forever. I don't trust feelings because they waver. Have you ever dreamed? Do you still dream? What do you imagine? See, I embody faith and adopted change. I relinquished control and I flow. I know that things can't get so dark I'll never see the light. I'm godlike, I can't lose. It is he who gives me strength, Philippians 4:13. So of course I'll see Jackson stacking. I'm packing so I could give a lot. My watch don't tick-tock, I don't stop. I don't lose because I don't quit. Calculate before you take risk and you can get rich. So I ask you again, do you dream? Do you believe they can come true? If not, spend time alone. Spend time with the truth. If it hurts, be still. If it inspires, get active. But whatever you do, act and don't quit. And that's on the Dreamer. Poem. So I know this poem by heart, but I be forgetting sometimes. So it's titled Peace. Apart from being a black male and fatherless for the majority of my life, I feel like I'm at war, getting stretched, but still trying to keep myself together. Can you see the stress on my face? Probably not, because honestly, I know my presence is a gift. I'm uplift at its finest. I'll hit you with a gut check that goes over your head. But I want to know, how much does peace cost? What I got to do to escape my flesh? Part of me is tired of the meaningless sex, while the other half in savage mode think about who I'm going to hit next. Scrolling down my timeline, double tapping still pics, running from my purpose, but my pics still lit. See my focus off. I'm battling the irrational, expecting change, letting the irrelevant chatter make a new home in my brain, my screws loose. Somebody give me a blues clue on what to do next. Should I stay and make a difference or leave and chase a check? I just want somebody to tell me, how much does peace cost? I'm trying to get over the things I'm used to. They say you gotta lose to gain, and I want better. I want a peace of mind. I want to be secure in knowing that my woman crushed Wednesday not cheating on me with a throwback Thursday. I want to be more than your man crushed Monday. See, I need something permanent. I need you to love these flaws, because feelings don't last these days. Look at me now. I barely sleep because I want it all. But at what price? My life? Somebody tell me, how much does peace cost? Do I have to sacrifice my time or flush my thoughts out and vent? Where can I find her? Do they sell her at the store? My mind's on overload, and peace seems to be the only thing that keeps me sane. You say, peace be with me, but I've never attained her. You tell me be peaceful, but I can't afford to let these guards down. 10 toes down, I'm still waiting on my chance to sleep with peace. Maybe she doesn't exist, or maybe she's priceless. I don't know. But I promise you, when I find her, life as I know it would no longer exist. Somebody tell peace, I'm waiting on her. Poem. Yeah. Okay, so we back on. And you can take a seat. You can take a seat. You could get close too if you want. Number one rule while you hear people spitting their poetry is just be quiet. Respect the mic. Give them an opportunity to be heard. First up, we're gonna go Brookie Madison.
Hi.
Clap her up to the stage, y'all. Brookie Madison.
Okay. I didn't know I was gonna get called to the stage so quickly. This one's called Bite. I should have bit your lip when we kissed. I should have bit down until your blood stained my teeth. I bet you remember me then. You think about me every time you go to talk, every time you go to eat, every time you go to put chapstick on. For a while, you think about me every time you speak. That pain you feel, that bruised, swollen portion of your bottom lip, split open by the clenching of my teeth. I held back my urges when I clenched my teeth. I would have enjoyed the taste of you. I would have continued to kiss you too, because it would have been bittersweet, knowing that I'll still linger on your mind for some time after our moments pass. I wish that bite was enough, that it was enough for me to make an impression on you, enough to make you want me in the ways I want to be wanted. Want me for more than anything physical. Yeah, we can get physical, but I want to be wanted in the nighttime, when the sun ain't shining and the rain won't let up. Want me for my company because you love how safe and at peace you feel in my presence. Want me for the endless amounts of laughs I will have with you. Want me because you find me interesting, and when we're not together, it pains you. Want me because you see past the makeup painted skin. Want me because you love who I am within. Want me because you want to know the way my mind works. Know my insecurities so that you understand all the ways that I hurt. Bittersweet because I know you'll never want me in those ways. How is it that you all can want me the same? Who am I enough for? I wish I felt okay knowing that you don't want more, but I don't. Because I know I give my all to you and you wouldn't even have to ask. I'm trying to elevate you. I'm not worried about your past. Bittersweet because although I want more, I'll still settle for a tease. Insecure with myself, but hopelessly giving in to your pleas. Romanticizing our interactions, wishing they could last. But alas, all we've shared was passionate kisses, touches, and hugs. I know better than to expect more from this. But I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be up for sharing one more kiss. Maybe this time, I'll go right in and sink my teeth right into your bottom lip. Poem. I was gonna do another one. I guess I'll do another one. I haven't really practiced or read this one, so we'll see what happens. This one's called A Day With You. I bring a lot to the table. To have a piece of me is to have an experience. I wish to grant you an experience of a lifetime. I wish to give you a piece of my time, more than a minute, more than an hour. I suppose a day will do. In a perfect world, I'd like to give you a day or two. But the world is not perfect and you're not even mine. But for this occasion, I'll give you all of my time. I want to speak with you, let you know that your words mean something to me. They're meaningful. This thing we got going on has meaning, full of wants, wishes, and desires. I desire to grant one or two of yours to come true. I wish you were here with me so I can give you so much needed love and attention. I admire you. I admire who you portray yourself to be, but I see through all the things that you try to do, masking how you feel inside. I know you ain't never had a ride or die, but that's what I would be for you. I need a day with you, just so you can know what it means to be loved by me. I imagine spending time with you feeling lovely, hearing you laugh and picking your brain. Let me treat you to this day, let you know how it feels when someone don't play about you. I'd make this whole day about you. Doing whatever it is that you want to, I want you. I want you to know that there's not a thing I wouldn't do. See a smile on your face. Come run away to meet and spend the night at my place. My place could be your safe space, a place where you can cry and you won't have to save face. Because I'm not judging you, I'm wanting you to open up to me and leave your burdens up to me. If it were up to me, you'd make this trip to me consistently. Whenever you need a break from your world ain't perfect, but whenever we link, I'm your girl. I bring a lot to the table, I said that already. I'm not asking you to bring anything but yourself. Just be open to feel my love. I know you ain't getting this kind of love from someone else. I would let it rain on you, drench you in it so much there's not a single pain on you. You wouldn't even remember what heartbreak could even feel like. You're here because you're deserving of a love that feels right. It feels like I should hold space for you. If you're lucky, I might let you get a taste or two, but really, I want to be a place where you can come and let your hair down. Leave your worries at your crib. Let me cater to you. You're welcome here as an ad-lib. I wish that you could see yourself the way that I do you this favor of treating you on my dime. Money is no issue, that's why I prefer to give you my time. I'm just worried that maybe this isn't enough for you. Maybe you need to feel me more often than not. I pray that you can make it through on those days when you're not here with me, but if nothing else, at least I could spend a day with you. You can follow me on Instagram at Brookie, like brownie cookie, BROOKIE, MMADISON.poetry. Thank you.
Thank you, Brooke. Next up, and so moving forward, because it's just a time crunch right now, all right? I wish we could stay here all day. Let's do one poem, all right? Next up, we got Chimmy Peculiar. I said that right? Okay, there we go. Clap her all the way up to the stage. I said it right. I got the name right. There we go.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? All right, so I'm not a poet. Well, I am, but in a different sense. So I'll do one song for y'all. And my name is Chimmy, again, Chimi. This is unreleased. Yeah, here we go. Purple hues found my view in a form of you, in a form of you. Perfect pigment, a vision, no illusion. Found my view, yeah, in a form of you. Oh, oh. You get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. You get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. We no go chop breakfast in Jesus' name, amen. This love, it go remain, last, it go remain, We no go chop breakfast in Jesus' name, amen. This love, it go remain, last, it go remain, You get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. You get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Mama say love is patient, love is kind, no ultimatums. It be like say we get potential. It be like say we go last forever. Mama say love is patient, love is kind, no ultimatums. It be like say we get potential. It be like say not forever. You get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. You get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Get rhythm, rhythm, and you might call a beat. Thank you. That's an unreleased gem. It sounds so much different with the beat. I try to do a little acapella for y'all. It will be released sometime this year, you know, but it's called Breakfast, so be on the lookout for it. Love you guys.
We need your Instagram. Can we get your @ please? Please. That was amazing. Let's clap it up one more time. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay. So, quick little intro before the next poet. Last year, October, I had just started going to B-side. I just met Sanchez. That's dope. And I stopped at another spot that was hosting poetry, and this guy was hosting. And the way he was just moving the crowd and using this word so eloquently, I was like, man, this is one of the best. And I didn't know about who is what. And then it turns out he really is one of the best poets that I know for a fact in Cleveland. Clap it up for Wall Street West.
Thank you, TP. I'm honored, bro. I'm honored. I go by Wall Street West. I'm into the poetry business, so any poets that's looking to advance their career, that's who I am. This poem that I want to share with you guys is a poem called When Art is War. This poem is personal. Something that I've never let any person know. See, my imperfect soul is in a bind like cursive, and I'm barely holding on. Like women who refuse to let their purses go to those who run by and steal purses. Though I am alive, my insides appeal hearses. Doing time comes with a cost, and my mind appears purchased. My mind is still perched in '09 where Shay Shay disappeared and it pierced. I'm still hurting. I feel worthless that I sit still searching for her to return to no avail. Maybe because I am low as hell on the totem pole and treat my family as if they owe alone because I am so alone. They treat me as if I am below a stone that reads, rest in peace. Imagine that. Rest in peace. Instead, with each year, my stress increased from being stretched and creased. It's been years since I've seen my mother, and she refused to come see me. Behind that, I haven't slept in weeks. I feel stabbed in the back to the point where I wake up in the middle of the night like I can feel the middle of the knife. And they be like, Wes strong, he fine. Not knowing that in the course of my incarceration, I've almost been murdered 3 times, so how can I be fine? When this time is beating my behind to the point where I no longer read but define the art of war. Because when the mind and heart's at war, it's the heart of war. And don't think that you aren't at war because you're not pouring your soul out into a poem. You're probably just like me. And I could really use some help like a heavyweight champ who's bound to lose his belt over politics. And that's why I felt Jeezy and Jay when they said, I done seen it all. Because I done seen a lot of shit. But you probably couldn't tell because I covered up with all this designer shit. And if I live in a world that teaches what a man think of, so is he, then why can't I feel like I'm the shit? But I remain humble if someone else tells me that I'm the shit, but on some honest shit. It's like my peers refuse to see me with power, like on some Amish shit. Tattoo my name on the forearm just to show the world that I'm the shit. But I ain't gonna lie, it got hard putting up with honest shit. And I just knew I degraded my soul in that moment where I threw out all the honest shit. So just like fruit will ferment, love will turn to hate, and I hate memories that are bittersweet, and I haven't been asleep thinking about the women who's taken me for granted. And granted, somehow I am the reason why their heart is hard as granite. But I can't feel bad for them because look what all God has granted when I stop taking God for granted. Poem. You can find me on Instagram, Wall Street West, GMTD. There's no T on West, just like there's no T's on my cans. God bless y'all. Thank you.
Yep, clap it up for Wall Street West. Yep. So yeah, if this your first time being here, it's really this dope all the time, right? It's really this authentic and genuine. People just sharing themselves, and I appreciate it. So next poet up, Los Post 216. Let's get it.
How y'all feeling? I'm a little bit nervous, I ain't gonna fake. A little bit nervous. I just wanna say a big shout out to Poetry Unplugged, like always. You don't always find a space where you feel like you can do pieces that's not like ready for a show. Like it's not no pressure, it's just natural nervousness right now. So big shout out to Poetry Unplugged, but we can keep the first one. My name is Los P. This is my first time doing this piece. I wrote this about like 2 weeks ago, so. I say, I've been being real, everybody, they call me fraud. Kicking down the door, shit, I'm knocking down all the walls. Did it out of love, never needed no applause. Niggas gave me shrugs, why they thinking that I had lost myself? I've been seeing right through the fog, shit, it might help not to even fuck with none of y'all. Boy, I'm fly as hell, I'm a king in my presence. Through my hardest times, it might have seemed that I was stressing. Even at my lowest, I always knew that I'd get better. This a postcard, I just wanna send you a letter. Still got this same number, but a voicemail is what you getting. I think I'm at the point I don't even wish it was different. God got me here for a reason, I admit it. I'm stronger than I ever been, I ain't even moved my pivot. Authentic ass nigga with some songs full of scriptures. Nigga, you don't even know me, you just seen a couple pictures. Excuse me, beg your pardon, no, I fucking beg to differ. You couldn't stop me if I was injured. Money ain't the problem, I've been stacking by the inches. Dollar to my name while I'm out here trying to make a difference. I been told you the game, but you ain't never wanna listen. Getting high every day ain't the reason why I've been living. Check. God got my back, ain't no option for me to fail. Shit, the only thing I do is prevail. Follow my intuition, man, that shit treat me well. Jumped off the porch, bullets fly like NFL. So I was athlete on the side, the porch halfway in the field. When buddy got shot and life turned real. Grandma seen the deck, I think she the one who even dealt. Bitch, I been up way before I popped the wheel. I seen niggas get stuck way before they popped the pill. Literally blood, sweat, and tears in this shit. I really mean it, I didn't die, I came back in this bitch. See, I'm a phoenix. The friends turn to foes and the foes, they started teaming. My line don't even ring no more, but I had her screaming. I've been plotting about my first property, boy, I've been fiending. 17 rounds of love, please don't give me a reason. But babe, we could've worked it out, I wasn't supposed to be breathing. But when I do die, I wonder would you even grieve me? Life way bigger than the shit I'm telling you, I didn't see it. Thank y'all. My name is Los P. That's L-O-S, capital P. You can find me on all platforms under Los P or Los Post. And yeah, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all.
Good job, Los Post. Next up, because we got to get through this, we got Christopher Moore. Let's clap Christopher Moore up to the stage, y'all. Christopher Moore.
How we doing this afternoon? Name is Christopher Moore, but I go by the artist name of Mood, that's M-O-O-D, and I'm gonna get right into this piece. What is love? Is love buying you the latest handbag and making sure your nails are done to match? What is love? Is love you rubbing my beard while I pencil this note from scratch? Again, I ask, what is love? Is it late night? I say again, what is love? Is it late night walks to our favorite tree where our names are carved? What is love? Is it the teeth clenching, body weakening, deep? I say again, what is love? Is it the teeth clenching, body weakening, deep strokes that leave your body quivering, rough sex? What is love? Is it the 10 p.m. missed calls that eventually turn to arguments because we have reached our disconnect? See, as I look around, I could tell that there's a tale of tale that many of us fathom, but I still ask, what is love? See, love to me is something that is felt, not something to hold and be kept. See, love isn't the material things. Love to me is the action performed spur of the moment, not something done for the gram or for the societal norms. Love was us a few summers ago, and midnight in those college storms. Yeah, if nobody knows, you and I do. I say this to say that if you're with a date or a friend this afternoon, take the time to ask them, what is love to them? Because what love looks like to them can, and more than likely, will be different than what love looks like to you. And just that simple question maybe can save you the heartache that I went through. Poem. Definitely nervous. I can understand why everybody's been saying that's a lot of pressure in the atmosphere. You can follow me on social media at Call Me Mood. That's CALLMXXD. Call Me Mood. The O's are X's.
It was tall. So that nervousness is good. I mean, it's something going on. Next up, we got Ashley Carter or Ashley Caper. Am I saying it right? No? Okay. Let's go Scoop B. Scoop B, you in here? No? So, all right, before I call the next poet up, you here? Just cuz, come up here real quick for me. You coming. I just want to let y'all know what's going on. We got some dope poets, and they do dope things, so tell them about the dope stuff you got.
Hey, y'all. I need some energy. If y'all cool, say cool. If y'all cool, say cool. Y'all still don't got that much energy, but I'm going to let y'all slide today. Anyway, so some of y'all might know me as Just Cuss. Of course, the Sparrow's Fortune is kind of like my little baby. So upstairs on the 3rd floor, we got some creative writing workshops going on. The next workshop is going to start at about 2:35. So that's about like 5-10 minutes. So definitely listen to the homie Scout. You said Scout? Scout B? Definitely listen to Scout B, and then sneak upstairs and come kick it with us for about 45 minutes. Cool? Y'all ain't said cool. Y'all better pull up, bro. All right, I'll see y'all later.
Hi, everybody. Anyway, this mic can come down a little bit. I'm a little short. That's all right. I got it. Thank you so much. But hi, my name is Scout. This poem is called Trash City, and it's about finding beauty in ugly things. Hear everybody talk like rubble, letting the words jumble and bubble, old rags reborn in cologne, crab crowns adorned in an offal throne, kitchen grease used for shoe signs, skin ooze for plastic pines. Here everybody smell like bones, tombs full of 6-pack rings, only bird of mine a pigeon wing, shrine full of candles and soda pop cans, rosary scrap shambles, love sold by the gram. Here everybody dance like junk, thrash city, litter punks, jacket made of cling wrap, cigarette butt fill a tooth gap, a sediment smile, disco ball bile and bottle cap boots. Here everybody swing samba, dreggy strings, orchestra dump site, grubby dings, a go-go bells, solo cartels, Cerdo slime, crumbs and coke, guns and apitos, keys made of teeth, snare drum, sing slum, trash city, writ of right, their mantra, sweetness and light. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Scout again. You can follow me on Instagram at 216.scout. And if you participate in the raffle today, you can actually win a free copy of my book called CKO. Thank you.
All right, y'all, we got a couple more, and then y'all go into the Sparrow's Fortune writing workshop, right? Yeah? Let's go get more energy before we get the next person up here. Let's get Kayla to the stage. Clap it up.
Hey, everybody. Were you taught to see or be seen? It's not my first time on a stage. I came to this when I was meditating, trying to stay in my body, but all I could do was present to you, present to me. How do you know what it's like to not know how to feel from the inside? I have to make my breath make noise just so I can hear me. It's not my first time on a stage because I've never not been on one. I am the movie of me, the passenger of you, the object viewed. Sometimes I talk and people seem to like that. Sometimes I don't, and people seem to like that. I made a lot of money from not talking on stage, but man, can I work a room? I'm nervous. My life resume is a work of art that infuriates me to my core. It never helped me to answer the question of whose life resume it was. Gravity with no ground, a moon with no planet. I know there's a forest here somewhere, but I do not want to focus on my breath. I do not want to be curious about who she is. I want to curate this show. So, are we intimate? If I keep this in, am I intimate with me? If I say this to all of you, are we bonded? If I say this to one of you, is it the same? This one-sided viewing of me. Have I diluted our connection by telling all these people? Have I diluted my integrity, myself? If I've given this piece of me to so many people, am I yours now? When I come home at the end of the night, is there anything left? What's it like to not be on a stage? Thank you.
Okay, so this person has to come up. She just finished a writing workshop upstairs, and I think that's super cool. She's 12 years old. I think that's super cool, and she got something to share with us. Let's clap her all to the stage. Elise. Yeah. A little lower.
My poem is called My Imagination is My World. Up so high in her own world is somewhere where nothing can stop her, because it's her world where the reality cannot take her. Up so high in her own world is where she can be free to be whoever she wants to be. But one day she knows she will have to face it. She will have to face the fact the woman she will have to become. But for now, up so high in her own world, because my imagination is my world.
That's inspiring right there. So we got our last poet, 216 Tate. Let's clap, 216 Tate. Up to the stage, here we go.
How y'all doing? First off, I wanted to give a shout out to the Sparrows, Fortune. My man's running the workshop upstairs. We was just walking around, my girlfriend and I, and she inspired me to do this, so I wanted to give a shout out to her. She's an artist. Her Instagram is Marissa Makes, Marissa dot, if I got it wrong, _makes, something like that is Marissa Makes. She an artist. She made me come up here, so she got to eat too. So I got a song I'm going to perform called Wolves. I'm an artist, you know. Now, there's a lot of elders in the room, so I want to say I'm sorry because I do curse a lot, and I didn't intend to perform today. So please forgive me, but let's turn it up. Y'all ready? Let's go. Y'all get y'all hands up. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I got 3 liters of the Aquafina, big pole up. Bitch nigga mad just because his home chose her. It just wasn't fucking with the kid until I called up. I got a girl and the nigga still got her. I don't sip the crispy water, that ain't fucking with the water, but I sail up. If a nigga come hot on the man, a nigga fly like I'm Peter Pan, but if I catch a SpongeBob, let's go. Whip tinted full of smoke, and I'm riding through the city. A nigga can't last, so slide with this glizzy polo on. Gucci Mane, that's the smell of my cologne. All these things jacket from the hoes that I put on. I got beat up for it when the nigga wanna switch up, but I still ride Fubu just to show that they can't what's up. Born in 99 on the first of the month. Every time I think about it, man, I just roll a blunt. You say why, but you will understand if you could be me. Dark skin, smooth nigga, boy, just pimpin' and free. I ain't never ever been a trick, but I like it. I teach you how to go and get the money. Hands up! I got 3 liters of the was feeling big colder. Y'all from Cleveland in here? I'm from the east side, so I got to crack an E one time. If you from the east, crack y'all E's in this bitch. Sipping crispy water, I ain't fucking with the. I don't see enough E's in here. If you from the east side, let me see an E up in here. From Martin Luther King, we gotta do it. Started on the mission, all black, Kim Impossible. Been saying this for months, ain't no way that you was stopping us. Nigga came around like so we set the link up. Went around his house and then we stayed this whole crib up. He just went to work and we been watching for 2 weeks. It's already this girl sleeping, some watching TV. We stayed in the back door and then we went upstairs. Out in the basement, had the same, we was up all in there. Now we going crazy, he don't know what to do. That's what happened, nigga shows that we can't trust you too. I came up around the way and took out everything. But I think the answer to you don't want to know what's in this bitch. Thank y'all. 216 tape. The Sparrow's Fortune. Marissa's Makes.
That's how they can find you at 216 tape.
Yeah, 216 period tape. That's my Instagram.
Yeah, we ended with a concert. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. Thank you.
Thank you. So, moderating, we have Deidre McPherson. She is a Chief Community Officer at the Assembly for the Arts, a cultural liaison, creative producer, and entrepreneurial strategist dedicated to bridging the gap between artists, communities, and institutions. Her passion for connecting communities enables her to be a prominent force in the collective shift towards equity in Northeast Ohio. She values the arts as a catalyst to heal our city, our communities, and ourselves. I'm now going to hand it over to Deidre to introduce our panelists and share more about herself as we dive into this conversation about the Cleveland art scene, past, present, and future for Black artists.
Hello and happy Black History Month, everyone. Happy Black Excellence Month, I should say. When I look around this room, there is so much excitement and energy and creativity and just visionary thinkers. It just fills my heart with a lot of joy. So I just want to say a special thank you to Bobby Reagans and the entire staff at MoCA Cleveland for envisioning this event to bring us together to celebrate Black art and culture here in Cleveland. So, we have a lot to talk about today. I'm gonna jump right in and introduce our panelists. But before I do that, I just wanted to say one additional thing, and that's I really got my teeth, started cutting my teeth in curating public programs right here at MoCA Cleveland. Once upon a time, I was MoCA's curator of public programs, so way back in 2014, almost a decade ago. And so I just want to say also much gratitude to the many artists and creatives I had the opportunity to collaborate when I was in this space, and the many that have helped me to get where I am today, including my parents, who are in the audience here today. So I just want to shout out my mom and dad for supporting my interest in art and culture, starting with violin lessons. I appreciate you, Mom and Dad. So now let's go ahead and introduce our panelists today. First off, wait, I got it. All right. Okay, well, there's a couple pictures of me. I'm gonna skip through these though. Once upon a time, I worked at MoCA, I shared that. I had another role working at Front International Contemporary Art Triennial and did some other great things I'm really proud of. And so let's go ahead and start talking about our panelists today. First off, I have Davon Brantley. So Davon Brantley, I see a lot of people are familiar with his work, but for everyone who isn't, let me tell you a little bit about Davon. Davon Brantley's body of work reflects his personal narratives and life experiences. Using a variety of materials, His self-portraits convey heightened emotional states. In 2018, Davon received his BFA in drawing from the Cleveland Institute of Art. His work has been featured in exhibitions at Bay Arts, MoCA Cleveland, the Cannes Triennial, Morgan Paper Conservatory, and the Indianapolis Arts Center, just to name a few. As a mural artist, Davon has collaborated on mural projects around Cleveland with Graffiti Heart, and he's been a curator and creative producer that's collaborated with the Museum of Creative Human Art. Davon currently serves as an admissions counselor at his alma mater, the Cleveland Institute of Art, where he continues his practice of mentoring emerging young artists and demonstrating the many paths you can take to have a full-time career as an artist, educator, and arts advocate. Please help me welcome Davon Brantley. Just want to show some examples of Davon's work here, and we'll reference these throughout our discussion today. All right, next up, we have Mr. Edward E. Parker. Or Mr. Parker, as I like to call him. Mr. Parker is an artist, an educator, and entrepreneur, born in Pittsburgh and raised in Toledo. He earned his bachelor's degree from Central State University, a historically black college in Wilberforce, Ohio, and his master's in fine art is from Kent State University. I just want to shout out Kent State University. That's where Black History Month was founded. Before it became a national month-long celebration. Mr. Parker is a dedicated educator with a belief that those students with a cursory appreciation for the creative arts perform best academically. As an art educator, he has taught in numerous classrooms, studios, galleries, and museums across the United States, as well as countries in Africa and Europe. He taught classes at the Cleveland Museum of Art, in Cleveland Public Schools, Cuyahoga Community College, where he was a professor of art for nearly 20 years. Mr. Parker founded the Snicker Fritz Cultural Workshop for the Arts in 1984, opening up his studio to welcome anyone who wants to create. In 2014, Snicker Fritz was made bigger. It expanded, and it became the Edward E. Parker Museum of Art and Creative Art Complex in the city of East Cleveland. Mr. Parker's museum and his creative arts complex include galleries, classroom spaces, and a number of small businesses, all Black-owned. As an artist, Mr. Parker's work has been featured in numerous solo and group exhibitions in Ohio, a number of murals around Cleveland, and numerous commissions from institutions across our city. The Edward E. Parker Museum of Art is located on the corner of Rosalind Avenue. I'm gonna show you some pictures here. Rosalind Avenue and Euclid Avenue, near Superior, near that intersection of Euclid and Superior. So you can see the Creative Arts Complex. Okay, here's some of his mural work. And I shout this out because very recently, some of his mural work, I shout this out, the location, so to encourage you to visit, but also just in June of 2022, the city of East Cleveland renamed Rosalind Avenue Edward E. Parker Way to acknowledge the impact that Mr. Parker has had on the community. Thank you. Yes, so I am so honored and humbled to share this space with the two of you, the amazing work that you've done in our arts community. So what brings us together today is to talk about the power of intergenerational art spaces and to look at the Black arts movement, past and present, through the lens of two artists who are at very different phases in their careers. So thank you so much for just all the work you've done in our community. Why don't we jump right in and start by talking a little bit about, well, first off, did I leave anything out? I said a lot. I don't think so. You don't think so? Okay. All right. So why don't we start by talking a little bit about your inspirations that brought you to this point in your career. Can you talk a little bit about some of the artists that have inspired your work and help you envision your career as an artist today? We'll start with Mr. Parker.
Is this on? Can you hear me? So many people that I have to be thankful for as I travel through art, both old and young. As an example, I see several of my ex-students in here. The gentleman over there painting, as an example. It's a hell of a thing to have somebody come up to you and say, I remember you when I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. It's one of my students there from Audubon. 14 years old, isn't that something? So that lets you know how young I am. Anybody can make it if they believe in, should I say, the 4 C's: curiosity, confidence, courage, and consistency. And the greater of those is to learn how to be consistent. I don't care if you are the worst or the best, be consistent at it, and you'll be all right. I want to thank you so much for coming out. If you get a chance, stop by the corner of Euclid and Roslyn Avenue to see some of this stuff in person. I was honored by having a street named after me not too long ago. I was very excited about that. Many beautiful things have happened to me over the years, and I think this ranks among the best. Thank you so much, and I'm sure I'll see you again somewhere along the trail.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Davon, how about yourself? Can you talk a little bit about your journey, your path to this point in your career?
Yeah, so just like Mr. Parker as well too, I'm also heavily inspired by my peers that I've been able to collaborate with. Some are actually in this room today as vendors. I'm also inspired by the fact that we have, I know I'm young, but the young generation that I'm ushering in as well too, they have so much spirit and they have so much access to a lot of different programs, mentors, and things of that nature that I unfortunately wasn't able to have when I was younger. And so seeing the fact that we're encouraging the arts a lot more and putting it in the classroom and pairing people up so that they have proper guidance has inspired me a lot. And of course, I have to pay homage to the people that came before me as well. So since I did study at the Cleveland Institute of Art, I do have a lot of references as far as art historical figures, such as Kara Walker. We also have Trenton Doyle Hancock as well too, and their Frida Kahlo. Of course, because self-portraiture. And also Caravaggio, Jacques-Louis David. I'm hoping I'm not missing too many people. And of course, Carrie James Marshall as well, as an art historical reference for me. And then, of course, I'm inspired by the people who are exhibiting today. I think personally, if you don't have a roster of people who inspire you yet, I suggest getting one and thinking about what their art movements were, how they impacted the arts today, and how they impact your personal journey as well. Because it was a little bit difficult for me. I didn't have any art classes in high school. I was just doing art on my own since I was a little kid. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she always would promote like, hey, Davon's pausing the TV and drawing from it, interrupting my programs. What are you doing, you know? So it was a lot different for me growing up as far as like my inspirations, because it just came from like my drive to really just do art. I just loved it. Hopefully that answers that question.
No, yes, absolutely. Thank you, thank you. And Mr. Parker, I wanted to hear about some of your artistic influences as well. How what kind of support system did you have to support getting to going to college and studying art and that inspire your decision to commit to this field as your career?
I started art in the 4th grade, going to art school at the Toledo Museum of Art. every Saturday, I was forced out of the house to go to art school. And I'm so glad. And those of you who can afford it should start investing in some of these young artists, because as the older ones die out, the younger ones will take their place, and you might have a collection that's untouchable. So if you can afford it, go out and buy some art. How many of you have an original piece in your house? Wow. I see 2 or 3 of you with your hands down. Next time that question is asked, make sure you ask the question. Is there any questions from some of you in the audience?
Oh, we're going to get to questions. Trust me, I would definitely save time for questions. But I had another question for you, actually, Mr. Parker. Thinking about the times that you were in school. So you graduated from Central State University. Would you say it was at the height of the civil rights movement, or the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s? Mike, please.
I graduated from Central State in '65.
And so I really wanted to hear about what it was like attending a historically black college at that time. Were there any art collectives or groups that inspired you either on campus or off campus?
Yeah, everyone generally, if you have an open mind, everyone that you come in contact with, if they have a talent, you should learn something from it. As an example, you take Picasso, you know that name, I'm sure. When Picasso went to visit his contemporaries, you know what he would tell them? Put up your best pieces, because I'm here to steal. Right, think about that. So if you believe in it and you work at it, it will come true.
So one of the inspirations for today's event was, when I was talking to Bobby, was thinking about black art collectives. And there are a number that some of you around this room might be familiar with, and many of them kind of came to fruition at the height of the civil rights movement, at a time when racial justice and civil rights were really at their peak. And so here, this slide is taking a look at Spiral, which came out of New York City in 1963. This was a New York City-based collective of black artists that came together to discuss their relationship with the civil rights movement. Another inspiration for today's event that Bobby and I talked about is Afrocobra, which was founded also at the height of the civil rights movement, 1968. Afrocobra is actually an acronym, for those of you who may not be familiar, the African Commune of Bad Relevant Artists, this coalition of black revolutionary artists that were part of this black arts movement. And so I wanted to ask the two of you, in thinking about these movements that kind of came about as a result of what was happening in our country, I'm curious, like, how you found inspiration in your work in looking at the Black Lives Matter movement, or were there other movements of the time that you felt it was a responsibility as an artist to express through your work?
If you look at the picture and you see if you look at the picture and you see the young lady with the gray hair that's standing in front, she lives in Cleveland now, her and her husband. They just had...
Jay and Wadsworth Jarrell. So two of the original founders of the Afrocobra movement, which was based in Chicago, live right here in Cleveland.
That's right. So they're back in Cleveland, and they just recently, within the last year and a half, had a show at the museum. They did what?
That's right.
Isn't that great?
So Jay and Wadsworth Jarrell, they actually debuted their work in Cleveland here at MoCA, and they later had a exhibition at the Cleveland Museum of Art as husband and wife in the Focus Gallery of the Cleveland Museum of Art. And that show resulted in a couple of their artworks being acquired into the Cleveland Museum of Art's collection. So again, husband and wife, Cleveland-based artists, once upon a time, part of this historic black arts movement that was based in Chicago. Mr. Parker, did you know them or work with?
Yeah, of course.
Can you talk a little bit about that, or?
They've been by my studio gallery, and I've been by there. Got an interesting place on East Boulevard. They have a full apartment on one space. She has upstairs gallery, and he has upstairs in another gallery. So they're not doing bad to support that area over there.
I would say what's also really important about these two Black arts movements is that not only was it the height of the civil rights movement and they were speaking to the times, but they were also creating spaces to celebrate and showcase Black art at a time when museums and art galleries were not doing that. And so, Mr. Parker, I'm curious, when you look back at your time when you were around Davon's age, how did you find those spaces to showcase your work or create those spaces before you created your own museum, of course?
Well, I would just go to somebody and say, oh, I'm sorry. I would just go to a place and say, you need to show my work, you know. And I'm just as good or better than most. I am the GOAT.
And I also want to jump in on that as well, too, because it's very important to have that confidence and that structure. And it's also, like, when we look at these movements up here, they laid a foundation for us and a blueprint. And we still have to deal with a lot of these issues today, and it's because we keep forgetting that foundation and that community. And so it's very important that we pass this down as much as possible, because look at this group image here. They're happy, they're together, and even if they have different art styles, ideas, and ideologies when it comes to their artwork and how they explain it, they're still together, and they're communicating with each other. They're inviting each other to their studio spaces, and they're making spaces for us that aren't only Black specific. You know, they're really moving in to the spaces that they weren't allowed to be in, and making a statement about that. And so it's very important, in my opinion, that we keep that going, because we shouldn't just separate ourselves. We need to make ourselves very much more present, and show togetherness in a different way, instead of isolating ourselves and being the lone wolf in the art field, thinking we could take on things by ourselves. Because as you can see, these groups are successful because they are groups, because they are supporting each other. And I hear a lot of artists today speaking about representation, there's no support, and things of that nature. And it's just not true, because we do support each other, right? We do have these spaces where you can go into. Deep Roots Gallery, for example, always promotes artists. They always throw shows for Black artists as well. Museum of Creative Human Art as well. I've worked with them a lot. They are already giving us a lot of resources that we can start out from. It's just our job for us to kind of infest these spaces that we feel like we are not allowed to be into. So be the GOAT. You know, come into these spaces and make a name for not only you, but your peers as well, too, and make sure that we're not taken advantage of, just like these movements right up here.
Thank you, Davon. Thank you. So Davon just referenced a few Black arts organizations. I put together this list of Black arts organizations that are right here in Cleveland and part of our Black arts scene, to the point that Davon just made. Once upon a time in Shaker Heights, there was a Shaker Heights art teacher named Malcolm Brown who established the first Black-owned art gallery in the United States, and it was on Van Aken. And he and his wife exhibited the work of artists who eventually were collected by the Cleveland Museum of Art. Contemporary art curators at the CMA were finding inspiration from the Black art spaces that Malcolm and his wife created in Shaker Heights. So if you don't know about their legacy, more to come in the future, but please learn that history. I also want to draw reference to Sankofa Fine Arts, based right here in Brighton, Glenville, very just east of here. Snicker Fritz, Mr. Parker, you've been part of this movement where people have found great inspiration in the space that you've created. And the list goes on. And Davon, you mentioned Museum of Creative Human Art, but each of these organizations are present day and one past, Malcolm Brown Gallery, that have been a big part of the fabric of Cleveland's black arts scene. Mr. Parker, one thing that you've done that is incredibly inspiring is you dared to create a whole creative arts complex that wasn't just about visual art, it was also about entrepreneurship, business. Can you talk a little bit about how you took your vision as an artist, as an educator, and grew that to create a space in a community that served others and shared your passion for creativity?
I was coming around the street over where I'm located. It skips in my mind now. But not Rosalind, the one cross. Emily. Who said that? Emily. When I was looking to buy a building, I was coming around Emily, and I saw the building on Euclid and Roseland, and decided to try to buy it because Emily, to me, meant early money is like yeast. Catch up with that. So I decided to buy this building, and it's been like 30 years ago. The building was empty 20 years, and I've been working on it for 23 years. So if you haven't seen it, come by and take a look.
Thank you. And say more if you wouldn't mind about putting your name on the building. For me, that is like the ultimate.
On the pole, it is.
Putting your name, saying this is my museum. Like I don't need to be validated by another museum. I am creating my own space for the community. That spoke volumes.
Can you imagine waking up one day and your council person said, we're going to change the name of this street to Ed Parker Way? Can you imagine that? Give me a hand.
I'd say you earned it, Mr. Parker. Because every Tuesday and Thursday, you can still come to your studio and take classes with you.
Yeah, the building I bought was a nursing home for the wealthy alcoholics. It worked in conjunction with Huron Hospital, which has since been torn down. They had a laundry room, a cook area, people stayed there. And in fact, over the years, people have come back to say, I used to work here. They even showed me a rubber room. You know what a rubber room is? A rubber room is when someone gets out of hand, you put them in the rubber room so they don't hurt themselves. Running up against walls and stuff.
So I just wanted to thank you, Mr. Parker. I wanted to just acknowledge the value and the importance of what you did and how inspiring it is, and just acknowledge what a legacy you have created. Davon, I can't imagine when you sit next to Mr. Parker and you learn about his practice. You know, you and I had an opportunity to spend some time with Mr. Parker in preparation for today's discussion. How does his work inspire you, and what does that mean for you as you stand on the shoulders of elders in thinking about your practice moving forward?
Yeah, what I have to say is that it was just amazing being able to tour your entire archive. Like, I love that. Like, it was just amazing being able to see, you know, the news articles, the 2D work that was hanging up within the space, the three-dimensional work as well, too. And honestly, every time I come into people's studio spaces anyway, I just get really inspired to do something in my own studio space. But seeing Mr. Parker's work in person and seeing the large scale of these different clay pieces, the freeze-dried chicken as well, too. I took that in my brain and just cataloged it when I went home, and I was like, wow, like there's so many different mediums that people are turning into their own. And so it was a little overwhelming, but in a good way, because I was able to see, someone who did come before me who has spent years within art and teaching and mentorship and providing a space for people to just learn more about who we have as legendary people. So I consider you a legend from that experience.
Wow.
And so I learned a lot, and I spent a lot of time just kind of wandering, as you guys had saw me, just staying at one point, flipping through some of his portfolio work, and just seeing that growth as well too. I was able to see his entire lineage of different practices, how he developed his mark, and developed into sculpture. So thank you for that.
Incidentally, I've done over 3,000 pieces. And I believe that the more you do, the better you will become.
Yes.
And I highly encourage you guys to go down there because it is amazing. There's just floors of just art and history.
Floors of art, and he still does field trips, welcomes field trips from school buses of children who stop by to visit the Edward E. Parker Museum. So definitely stop by. You're gonna have a lot of visitors, I think, after today, Mr. Parker. Take a look at. Yes, so one point that Davon shared a little bit earlier in thinking about our local Black art scene is in thinking about some of the collaborations that have taken place historically here in Cleveland. So I just wanted to shout out a couple in recent years. Just down the street at the Sculpture Center, we had this exhibition that was curated by Robin Robinson of Sankofa Fine Art that brought together about a dozen Black artists from Cleveland to display their work not only at the Sculpture Center, but also in neighborhoods throughout Cleveland utilizing augmented reality. So this was a show that Mr. Parker was actually a part of in 2021. And I also put up an example of a show that Davon was part of. So this was an exhibition, Cross Generations. Actually, I'll have you talk a little bit about it, Davon. What was it like participating in this show in collaboration with the roster of Black artists from our region that were represented?
Yeah, it was a very interesting experience. I have a lot of discussions with peers about kind of meshing the younger generation and older generation. I don't believe that there should be as much separation as there is now. We have resources where we can learn from the older generation, and a lot of us are choosing not to. And it's also vice versa. A lot of the older generation of artists are choosing not to work with younger artists. So with this exhibition, I really wanted to beat that idea just out. I didn't want anyone to think about that with the exhibition. And so not only did I curate more of the younger artists to be a part of the show, I also participated in the show and had a piece in there. And I made sure that we were able to give panel discussions for the artists as well, so that we both had the younger peeps and the older peeps just talk about their experiences of how they developed in their career, what they're currently going through within their career as well, and how we can make a difference, and how we can get each other to be more involved in our lives. Because for me, that's very important. I wouldn't know anything about the arts without the past. And so making sure that that idea gets out was super important for this show, and working with the Museum of Creative Human Art, who already have like a roster of artists that they've worked with that are a lot older than I am and a lot more experienced than I am, especially with institutions, was super fun. I try with each show, especially this one, to get a diverse set of artists that are not just painters, not just drawers. Like, obviously I have that background, so I'm gonna have a little bias to that, but I made sure that we got sculptors, we got video peeps, installation peeps, drawing and painting, printmaking as well too, because we all have a lot to say. And then we also paired them with artists like Joyce Morrow Jones as well too, who is also in textiles and fiber arts. And we got to learn from them with the exhibition. Even though the artists weren't collaborating with each other per se, it was still nice to have them kind of discuss who they were and introduce themselves. So with this exhibition, I really wanted to make sure that we integrated two generations and made them flow consistently. Because a lot of people think, you know, we can't show together, we can't be in a partnership, and it's not true. We can, and we can exhibit together, and our work definitely connects with each other by themes and what we talk about, and you never know that unless you show together and talk to each other. I'm gonna say that a lot during this presentation, just because I really wanna make sure you go home with that idea, but with the cross-generation show, that's the idea that we wanted to get across, and I believe it was very successful. A lot of people came out, and it was really great, and so, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really special exhibition. And like you said, for me, what I enjoyed most out of it was that it represented so many artistic mediums within visual art and artists across generations. Mr. Parker, I referenced this show earlier, and I think there's some other members of the audience who participated in this show. Mr. Parker was one. We got Lawrence Baker somewhere in the house. We got Jada Hobson, who's a designer and creative who designed the visuals and created the website for this exhibition. We got right up front, Dale Hilton, yes, right up here, and our curator of the show, Robin Robinson. So yes, applause around the room for showing an example of what a healthy Black arts ecosystem can look like, what the power that does come out of doing collaborative shows and sharing experiences and inspiration across generations. Mr. Parker, in seeing this, were there any thoughts from your experience in participating in this show that you wanted to share with everyone? What was it about this show that was exciting for you as an artist in collaborating with this roster of artists?
I'm just impressed about how much talent it is in Cleveland. A lot of talent. So here again, if you can afford it, you go out and start buying some of these pieces up. You won't be sorry, trust me.
So another, I think the battery's getting low. Another topic that we wanted to talk a little bit about today was thinking about our Black arts ecosystem. And I'm specifically calling out our Black arts ecosystem because in order to have an overall healthy arts ecosystem, each culture that's represented in our city, we want to see representation and excellence and spaces where our work is celebrated. What I have up here are a few cities that have been celebrated for having a very strong Black arts scene. The city of Atlanta. Atlanta, of course, is a vibrant city, a lot of incredibly talented artists, just like here in Cleveland. And so you'll see a very vibrant arts scene, a very vibrant Black art scene in the city of Atlanta. Galleries and lots of galleries and shows and public art. So here it says Black legacy lives here. Another example, I haven't been to Memphis yet, but I've been learning more about the city of Memphis, and they've made an entire Black arts district that I believe might have been one of the first of its kind. It recognizes music and the city of Memphis's music connections, but also visual artists are part of that. So I wanted to ask the two of you, in thinking about Cleveland's Black arts scene, what are some of your hopes and dreams for how we come together and grow our art scene in a way that continues to empower Black people in our city?
So what I have to say towards that, because I'm like right in the mix, is that What we have to do as a community within the arts, especially the art scene, is that we have to be there for each other. We need to show up. We need to make sure we're not just showing up to the exhibitions and only meeting once and talking for 2 minutes and then we're going home, that we're actually inviting each other into each other's spaces. That is super important with establishing a thriving ecosystem for the arts. And we also have to know what's out there. So share knowledge. Like, I have a lot of connections and networking that I'm always just randomly talking about with people that I meet, because I'll hear them say something and I'm like, oh, I know a grant program that you're gonna apply for that does that. Sharing information and knowledge helps that ecosystem to thrive and make it bigger. Another thing is that we really need to come together and just share ideas on how we can make this system better. One organization or 2 organizations is not enough. We need individuals who are also out there experimenting with different practices, talking to other representatives that may be outside of Cleveland, and they can bring some of that into Cleveland as well too. We have to communicate with each other a lot more. I think right now we're trying. It's getting a little better, but we suck right now in comparison to Atlanta and Memphis. We really do, and that's just the hard truth about it. Like, we really need to do better as peers to make sure that we're vocal about who we are as artists and we're presenting and showing up for each other. It makes no sense that we have such a huge roster of great artists in Cleveland, yet majority of you guys don't know each other. Majority of you guys have never been to an exhibition of any of these people that are vendors here. And they are having great exhibitions consistently throughout the year. And so we need to change that. We gotta show up a lot more. We gotta support each other a lot more. I literally randomly just share people's artwork on my Instagram story. Whenever I see it pop up, I'm like, oh, I love that. I'm about to share that. It's simple as that. You don't have to do much else after that if you don't want to. It's just share the artwork, like a pic. It's all good. We're so young right now, and we have so many different technological advances and things like that, that support is very, very, very easy. You do not have to break a sweat doing that. Just share the artwork, come to an exhibition, go to someone's studio space, and if you can't buy an original, it's fine. Buy a print or buy something that's small, you know? Just have it in your house. Showing that support does wonders. I remember I sold my first piece my freshman year in college. It was random. I just talked to this random person and they loved what we discussed. They're like, oh, you're explaining your piece really good, nice. And they bought it on the spot and they didn't even have to. And it wasn't that expensive at all. I actually undercut it myself, to be honest. But it made me so happy that someone considered buying my work and hanging it up. Like, and it makes a world of a difference, and it boosts our, you know, our pride a little bit. It boosts your ego. You're like, man, I sold that little piece, you know. Next time I'm not gonna sell it for $2, but I'll sell it for, you know, something a lot larger. But you're doing this thing that I like to call propagating, which if you know about plant life and things like that, you're picking a little leaf off of the stem, throwing it somewhere else, and it's gonna bloom. So what you're doing is just putting different seeds out there. You're taking from Mr. Parker, his knowledge and everything, and you're breaking it down and sharing it with everyone else. And now we have more people coming to that museum once we talk about it more and we get it out there. So if you know an individual artist, if you know an organization that's helping, make sure you talk about that and get it out there so that more people can know and bloom as artists, and we can get more funding for the arts and make sure you're not going into that myth of the starving artist, which does not exist. Because you can make money off of the arts. Don't listen to your parents. But make sure that you're doing that so that we can have a healthy, thriving ecosystem for the arts. And we can be up there with Atlanta and Memphis. Cleveland is huge. We have a lot of artists here. Get out there and do it.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Davon. And Mr. Parker, I'd love to hear your thoughts too. What do you think? How would you describe the current state of the black arts scene here in Cleveland? If you don't mind using your microphone, please.
It takes a lot of motion, and you got to keep it in motion, and you have to meet. You know, you have to meet and help each other and suggest things to each other and watch all the pleasures prove.
Another question I have for you, Mr. Parker, in thinking about the creative art complex, can you tell us a little bit about some of the various events and gatherings that you've hosted over the years that have really helped to cultivate a strong arts ecosystem and more unity in our arts community?
We try different things all the time. You might have know us for our Collard Green Fest. We do a Collard Green Fest. Haven't done it for a minute, but we give away $100 for the best prize, the best collard green taste. That's one of the things we do. We have art through Walter Allen Rogers. I call him War. Does anybody know War? He has an art show there once a month where he invites artists in, invite their friends, and everybody come out to meet and to network. You cannot network enough. You cannot network enough. Work at it, work at it. The more you do, the better you will become.
You hear that, everyone? Networking and being in spaces of unity. I just wanted to go back a few slides, once again, to just shout out some of our existing spaces. And please know this is not a comprehensive list. There are many more spaces where black art and culture are celebrated and highlighted in our city. But I wanted to shout out, I think I saw David Ramsey earlier of Deep Roots Experience. The Deep Roots Experience Gallery is based in the central neighborhood of Cleveland, and just last night they had a gathering that was a game night. Mr. Parker, you also gave another great example, the Collard Green Festival, a celebration of black culture, of food, of art. So just, again, thank you for that inspiration and for helping us to think about that unity in the black arts scene. So just a few days ago, I got to go to a really amazing event in our Huff neighborhood. Huff is home to a community development corporation, a CDC, called Midtown. And they had an event called Black Avenue that drew inspiration from Black Wall Street. And Black Wall Street, as you may know, was a thriving mecca of black arts and entrepreneurship in Tulsa, Oklahoma, back in the 1920s, that was burned to the ground as a result of hate. But what was powerful about Black Wall Street and what inspired this event, Black Avenue, is the investment in black entrepreneurship and the thriving community that was part of Black Avenue. So this event was inspired by what is coming to our Midtown community, our Huff community in Cleveland. The vision for, I'll go a couple slides up, oops. The vision for Midtown, so Midtown around Chester and East 66, Euclid Avenue and East 66, is to create a black arts and cultural district. So this is huge for Cleveland because I think regardless of whether you are a young artist or an elder, you have probably come to the conclusion that in addition to unity, we also need a community that has a thriving black arts district, just like Memphis, just like Atlanta. So that is the vision for what is coming to Midtown. Part of that is being driven by the Cleveland Foundation, which is opening its new headquarters in the community. Across the street from the foundation's headquarters will be the Midtown Collaboration Center. And within that space, there will be opportunities for artists who we all know are change makers, are transformational, to have a space and to be part of a thriving community that helps bring more economic opportunity to a part of our city that has historically been disinvested in. So I just wanted to share this. If you were to visit the website for Midtown Cleveland, you can learn a little bit more about what's coming to this neighborhood. And we hope that this gets replicated in other parts of our city. And so Davon and Mr. Parker, when you hear about the idea of a Black arts district coming to our city here in Cleveland, how does that make you feel? Do you feel like this is progress? How does that, like, say a little more about that?
I'd say finally. This is something we really need. And I'm glad that we're taking the initiative and first steps of actually creating this environment for Black history and entrepreneurship and artists. And so finally is what I have to say. And I think it's a great initiative. Yeah.
How about you, Mr. Parker?
I want to say this. As I was coming back from Africa, way, way, way up in the air, I thought that this poem, creating till tomorrow's end, that's what I want to be. Stored in this mind of mine, some short hours old is a galaxy of untampered ideas. So hurry home, man, and be creative.
Poetry. I also wanted to shout out Boris Oikerman, who's here from the Cleveland Foundation. Boris is a new Clevelander, and he's the foundation's Director of Arts and Cultural Programming. So if you have ideas for how to bring transformation to East Side communities through the arts, he's your guy. He's very friendly. Please seek him out after this conversation because it's very exciting, and this is the type of change we want to see more of in our city. Before I close, I wanted to see if you had any questions for Mr. Parker, considering that you guys are new friends, and this multi-generational space, we want to maintain these connections. So any questions that you had for Mr. Parker before we open up to the audience, or each other, and Mr. Parker, you as well.
Yeah, I have a question for him. If you're not familiar with his work, look at his work because he's awfully talented.
Thank you. And me and Mr. Parker were able to discuss informally before this panel discussion. So we had a great conversation just about what he does, what I do. We showed each other our artwork, and I don't think I got to ask this question, or maybe I did. We did talk for a while, but I guess what was the most difficult part of being an artist in Cleveland, creating and establishing this museum, and providing all these opportunities for the arts?
Don't forget your mic, Mr. Parker.
It's amazing how many artists we've lost in the last 3 years. People like Cliff Clay. Anybody remember Cliff Clay? Malcolm Brown. Ernestine Brown, Frank Cook, and the name goes on and on and on. So again, buy art, support these young artists, and you won't go wrong.
Thank you. That's good advice. Support artists, buy their work, and go to their shows, show up. I think we can before we wrap up, I wanted to open up the floor to anyone in the audience who may have a question for any of us up here.
Don't be bashful.
Should I stand or?
Oh, please, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, nice to meet you all. Everyone's so beautiful, by the way. It's good to see you guys, all these faces. I guess my first question is, how do you guys, navigate through continuing to be consistent through any hardships that you may face throughout your life? That's the first question.
Because I'm recently going through, I have a new child. She's 3 months old. Thank you, guys. She's 3 months old, and so that has been a challenge for me, just because I work full-time. I'm also an artist full-time as well, too. So there's a lot more scheduling, a lot less personal time as well, too. How I balance that is I make sure that I have a bunch of like notebooks and calendars. I don't use the calendars as much because it just is daunting to me. But I have a bunch of notebooks where I'll write down each assignment for myself for the week. And I don't put too much pressure on myself at all because, again, new kid, they're unpredictable a lot. And so I make sure that I'm giving myself wiggle room. I typically work fast, my wife says, even though I do like 6-foot paintings and drawings and things like that. But I give myself a little bit more wiggle room so that I am able to like, oh, I could do a little bit here and then there, probably like in the next 3 days. But I also have to, apply for grants. I also have to make sure I'm keeping my website updated. I also have to make sure that when someone is sending me an email and it's important and they want me for an exhibition, that I'm filling out the, paperwork, looking at contracts and things like that. And so I also give myself a lot less wiggle room with those things because, you need to give them immediate answers sometimes. And I'll schedule it. I'll be like, hey, Davon, you need to do this by like February 24th because I don't want it no later than that. And that's just a personal thing for me. Since I come from a family that's more so business oriented, I have that background of like, I need to get this done, and this done by this certain period, and I don't want to be late on that. So sometimes I'm a lot earlier than I need to be. So kind of figuring out what your niche is and how you move, because it's very important to figure that out first before you're just like accepting all these different opportunities. You got to kind of figure out what your flow is. So my advice is sit down with yourself and figure out how you operate and how you work. You may not be like a super, like, I need to write this down every single day. I need to put it on a calendar. I have to put it on my phone, things like that. And you may be that person. You just have to really sit down and figure out like, okay, how much time am I gonna dedicate to my art creation? How much time am I gonna do with post-production and filling out things? And how much time will I have for like actual like sit down, relax, don't do anything, and work. And sometimes like don't be hard on yourself. You're not gonna get it all together. Like I know I still am like, oh, I gotta do the dishes. It's been like 3 days, bro. You gotta really do the dishes. So make sure you're not too hard on yourself and you're allowing mistakes and failure. I think that's what I'm getting at. Allow room for failure because you will learn from it and it'll make you a better person at the end of the day.
I think you should also know this. If you know somebody 55 or older, I give our classes free to seniors on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So come on out if you know your auntie, uncle, whoever is 55, they can come and hang out a little bit.
See, I'm not quite 55 yet, so I've been crashing. It's just for seniors right now? Right. Okay,
Well,
all right.
we'll find something for you to do.
Okay, all right.
And then I just had one more question. And then how do you guys go about like networking? I'm an up-and-coming artist. I'm a creator and a muse, so I creative direct. I'm a fashion designer specializing in knitwear and crochet. So I'm really this is my first time at an event like this, so this is this is beautiful. So I was just wondering how you guys go about networking and what are some tips and tricks on that?
My advice is to make sure you're not too shy, right? Like you're coming to an event, this is the first step to it. Now you've been kind of shown a bunch of different artists. You've heard us talk about networking and the things that we've done in our careers as well. So now it's just talking and making that connection. So just make sure that with networking, you're not only just coming to the event, but you're really drinking in the knowledge and the person that you want to kind of get an opportunity with or collaborate with. It's super important. Bring business cards. I know I always forget my business cards, so I just have my website and I have a QR code that people can scan so that they can have it in their like actual phone contact if they need to. But the most important part is to just don't be too shy because you never know who you're talking to. Honestly, that exhibition that they put up with the cross-generational show, there was a person who came to that exhibit. I wasn't there, but my email was there. They contacted me, and I just had a good conversation with them as if I knew them for my whole entire life. And they ended up buying a print. They also got me a connection with the Cleveland Food Bank, and I was able to do a commission for the Cleveland Food Bank. And so, again, that's someone I didn't even meet in person, and I just communicated with them as if we knew each other from the jump. And so being who you are is super important with networking as well, too. Don't put on a false self. Just be you. Like any person you talk to today that knows me personally will always have the same type of story. Like Davon is this type of dude. It's not really going to change too much. But make sure you be 100% yourself, and then not only come to the events, but kind of shake people's hands. If you see someone that has a crowd of people around them, they're most likely probably important. So probably like trickle over there, you know, stand by them a little bit, and, you know, just chop it up. That is what I would say as far as networking. I'm also a pretty like extroverted, introverted person, so it's not a problem for me to walk up to someone randomly and discuss who I am as an artist, but it is very important that you do that.
Awesome, thank you.
Mr. Parker, do you have anything to add?
Not really. You did a beautiful job.
We have time for a few more questions. Anyone has questions for our panelists? Right up front, we have Mr. Lawrence Baker, artist, well-respected artist here in Cleveland.
How many young people in here? I'm talking to the newer generation.
A little louder for the people in the back. Hold it closer there.
How many young people in here can write about art and Afro-American art? And what are you doing about it to learn more and more and then write about it and write it down so you could get it published? And we older artists in here, we have an ego too. We like to open up a magazine and see our name in the magazine. So let's admit that first, because I know I'm one of them, okay? And then get this material, push it upon the publication of it to the local publications, regional publications, and then on to national publications. An example, Cleveland, the Cleveland Plain Dealer is very conservative, okay? And I explained that to the main writer here about why haven't you published anything about some of the artists, local artists here. And what has happened, he's changed his concept of putting together writing about material about local artists here. And I thought that was great. I think because of this George Floyd thing, I think that might have been how some of the stuff has changed. Another example, the Akron Museum of Art just bought a piece of my art after 40 years. Okay, so that'll...
Congratulations.
That'll give you an example. Things need to change. And if you're not able to at least write about art and then Afro-American art, you're gonna have the same thing going on here in the Cleveland area. Stagnant. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Some wisdom from someone who's making a really good point that we need more documentation and writing about our work. Do we have time for one more question, or should we wrap up? Okay, one more question. If there's anyone in the room with a dying question for artists.
So my name is Heather, and I'm new to Cleveland. I work at the Cleveland Public Library, and I'm the head of Fine Arts and Special Collections. So we have a pretty nice sized collection of books about the visual arts and music. And we are starting to really think pretty critically about how we collect and who we're collecting for. And we're sort of shifting the paradigm away from old masters toward contemporary African American and BIPOC artists and practitioners. So if there is anything you need at all in the library that you do not see, I would be very, very happy to order them for you. We are here to serve you all, and I truly believe in the mission of our library, and of course Mr. Murphy already knows me. He's a regular. So anyway, I do have my business cards, and I would be very, very happy to distribute them.
This is not a question. Oh, did you have a question?
I have a statement.
Oh, okay.
Hi, everybody. Mr. Parker was actually my 9th grade art teacher at Audubon Junior High School. And he was so cool and so totally cool with this perfect afro. And he was the first guy the first black man I ever saw with an earring in his ear. And he always wore a turtleneck with a chain, and always had jeans or cords on, but he always made you think that there are no mistakes in art. Whatever you interpret is what you interpret. You see what you see. Nobody can see what you see but you. And he was like the best art teacher and the best break in the day of curriculum in the Cleveland public school system. And I just had to acknowledge him for that and give him his flowers where he is. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful to hear, because I was trying to imagine for myself, like, how cool would it have been to have Mr. Parker as your art teacher? Like, I would have loved to. All right. Davon's over here is going, goals. Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for being here with us today and for hearing from us. Davon, thank you for sharing your insights and your experience. Mr. Parker, your wisdom is unmatched. Icon, exactly. And we have Robin Robinson in the front who wanted to share a comment.
Okay, I'm sorry, I broke up the end. But I just want to say that since Davon and most of the younger artists that don't look like us are more apt with technology, we need a database. We need a central database where we can actually know who we are, get in touch with each other when we need to get in touch with each other, not just visit each other, because that's important, but we need to be able to communicate with each other. So work on that.
I actually have a little note about that. I have written up a proposal for our artist network, and it would be an app where we would actually have an archive. I don't know where to propose it at all, but it's all written down.
Cleveland Foundation is looking at you right now.
It is all written down and everything, because I was also thinking about that we do need to have a database and archive for Black artists in Cleveland, because it's very important. And also, on top of that as well too, with the library comment, since I didn't have any art classes at all in high school, middle school, or anything like that, I consistently went to Cleveland Heights Library and I would look through all of their old archived books about just art history in general. And I taught myself about like Renaissance period, Baroque period, and things like that. And I even taught myself animation. So those of you who are artists and you are young and you do not know where to start at the library. They have unlimited resources for you, and it helped me in my career. So I just really wanted to shout that out because you have access to things. Literally, my mom was like, "Where are you going? I haven't seen you for like 5 hours." And I was like, "I was in the library. I was on a computer. I was just drawing, all of that." So I really wanted to make a comment on that as well too. And I love that you made that comment about the archive because I do have a proposal for that.
Okay. Thank you, Davon. And I wanted to make one more shameless plug. The organization that I work for, it's called Assembly for the Arts, and we are our region's art council. We are here to increase the resources for the arts, to help our arts and cultural ecosystem thrive, and we're also here to increase the equity in the arts. So I just want you to know you're in a room full of people who have different connections to the arts. I just wanted to invite you to, if you have needs or resources to support your work in the arts. Also, Assembly for the Arts is a great organization, and stop by to talk to me about membership. But thank you all for joining us today. Thank you again, Bobby and Mocha, for this incredible event. Have a great Saturday, everyone.
Also, artists, make artist statements, please. Please make an artist statement. Please, y'all. It's hard writing for a lot of people.
Hey y'all, so few remarks, few thank yous. So I want to say a huge thank you to all of the artists involved in this second year of the Black Art Showcase. Thank you to Malcolm, thank you to Aaron, thank you to Derek, thank you Kaylin, thank you Rezi, thank you Crystal, thank you Fran, thank you Karen, thank you Ivy, thank you Theatis, TJ, thank you Sparrow's Fortune, thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Ed Parker. Thank you, Davon. Thank you, Deidre. Then I want to say thank you, Corey, for all of the setup, tech, and production support. Antoinette, huge thank you. With 216 The Beat Radio for the tremendous support on this project and interviewing and marketing needs, and in general, all around support. The Mocha team for allowing this to take place here and supporting the vision. And everybody in the crowd, thank y'all for being here and making this possible. It really means so much. And I just want to say being yourself as a Black person is the greatest thing to do, because when society has placed us in a box, placed limitations on us, and countless times left us out of the story, even told our stories wrong, being yourself is a transformative stand in itself. To the people who rock with me on this project, I can't thank you enough again, and I hope we can continue this, not just in February, all year round. And I would like to plug the Black Art Showcase CLE on Instagram. Please follow that. Again, it is Black Art Showcase CLE on Instagram to get updates as this program continues to grow and develop. And now we're going to do our raffle. So if you haven't entered the scavenger hunt, we're going to do the raffle, and I'll leave it up to anybody else to say some remarks. And then we're going to close out with our meditation.
Emily, let's go ahead and close out this beautiful event. So like they said, if you're participating, just take a moment, eyes up here, whether you're sitting or standing. We'll go ahead and we'll take a few big breaths all together. ending our practice with this meditation the same way we began. So when you're ready, take a few big breaths in through the nose. You can open your mouth, let the air go. Long breaths in, long breaths out. I know it's been a fun day, an exciting day, but as we wind down, let's take a moment to come all together and take 3 more breaths together. Inhale, big breath out. Inhale, exhale. And one more time, all together, yes, inhale. Slow breath out. And I invite you to gently close the eyes if they are not already. And just take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And just have a natural breath here. So just notice how the breath flows in and out. Notice how the chest rises as you breathe in. And notice how the chest falls as you breathe out. And if you remember when we meditated earlier, we focused on gratitude. We focused on thankfulness in this present moment. So even if you weren't here, I want you to come back to that moment of gratitude right now. Gratitude for this event, gratitude for this day, but also gratitude for yourself. Gratitude for family, friends, community, a home, a job, food, shelter. Find gratitude for whatever it is you would like in this moment and let that gratitude overwhelm you from head to toe. As you breathe into the heart and you breathe into the belly, think about how far you have come. Think about every mistake, every misstep, every wrong turn. But then think about where you are right now. Find gratitude for your resilience. Find gratitude for your strength and gratitude for your power right here in this moment. As you breathe, find gratitude. When you leave this place today, keep that gratitude with you as you move through each day, each week, each month, as you move through this entire year. Know that you can only welcome in new blessings when you find gratitude in the current ones. So appreciate all you have, love all you have, knowing that that's the only way to welcome in new blessings, new beginnings. You can drop the hands if you'd like, keep them in your lap. And as you sit here with the eyes closed, we're going to take 5 more cleansing breaths all together. This time, let's see if these breaths are a little easier than they were in the beginning. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to hold the breath for 1, 2, 3. And when you're ready, open up your mouth, sigh out that air. Take another inhale. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3. And now hold that air in. 2, 3. Open up the mouth. Let it go. 2, 3. Big breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. One more time, just like that. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath for 2, 3, 4. Let the breath go for 2, 3, 4. Just return back to your natural breath. And before you open your eyes, I want you to think of one thing, just one thing that makes you smile, no matter what it is. It might be a friend, a family member, a child, maybe something silly you did at work. Maybe you fell this morning, bumped your toe. It was funny. Whatever it is, find one thing to smile about in this moment. Yes, look at all those smiling faces. And when you're ready, gently open the eyes. Let's take our hands to heart for a moment to end our meditation. Thank you all so very much for not only allowing me to open up this event, but to close this event. And I want you to use these tools that we meditated with today. Take them into your everyday life. Even if you just have a moment, a second to just take 3 or 5 breaths, please do so. It'll change your life, I promise you. So we'll bring our hands up towards our forehead, and then we're going to bow together. Namaste. Thank you all so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That meditation was a little different than the one we did in the beginning, but that's to show you that meditation is different every time you do it. So my name is Valarie. If you enjoyed this, please come practice yoga and meditation with me downtown at the Studio Cleveland, right on West 10th Street. I teach all throughout the week and every weekend. Thank y'all so much. Get home safely. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Mocha.